And I think we are live.
Yes, hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hey. For those who don't know, my name is Jean. I'm the head of marketing at Masa. I joined the project very recently, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. Today we have a different kind of news flash. This one will be about DeWeb, which is one of the main products at Masa Labs. And today with me I have Damir, which I
Hi.
think you all know, and Phoebe, who is in charge of the marketing on the DeWeb team. We have some questions today that were brought up in the forum by you guys, and so the idea is that we choose some of them to answer and give a bit more feedback on this product, on DeWeb, the future, what we want to do, where we want to go, and so maybe we can start with you, Phoebe, if you want to give maybe a bit of an introduction. Tell us a bit more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, for sure. As planned on the initial roadmap, we're working on beta feedback improvements and also some other cool stuff. The first one, and I think the most important one, is optimized smart contract. We've been working hard redesigning some core features of it to make it more scalable and more in tune to what we need for the DWeb. The second big change is going to be the CLI. So we've transformed it and made it into a TypeScript CLI. This is going to be interesting for developers because it's going to enable better scalability, easier integration, and the most awaited feature, secret key batch signing. That means that people who upload websites won't need to confirm 10 times operations. We've got some designs, some V0 designs for the landing page. So that's going to be a big important release. Finally, we have server updates. So we're going to update, of course, the DWeb server to communicate with the new smart contract. And we've been working on some content creation, like design. Some of you may have seen the GIF that was on social media. And of course, videos that are upcoming.
Nice, thank you.
And I was asked this question by a community member: is what's up with the roadmap? Are we still on track? And has it changed? Well, actually, there has been a couple changes. I think we're still on track, but we're really focusing on getting out a good and quality project, of course. So end of Q3, beginning of Q4, we're going to deploy DWeb to the mainnet. This means like deploy Masa ecosystem projects. We're going to register and deploy lending protocols. So that's a feature that we've announced. We're going to intensify B2B marketing and business development, of course, to bring more business, more partnerships onto Masa and onto the DWeb. Of course, I just talked about this, new smart contract and CLI. We're going to deploy the landing page. And finally, we're going to create a provider and website registry system. That's been something that the community has wanted for a long time. And after this is done, so after the DWeb mainnet is launched, we're going to open the DWeb to all. So this is our main focus is going to be user experience, making it a seamless and easy process, right? We're also going to try to get some feedback from the community, try to determine where the community wants to go with this project. We're going to launch a big marketing campaign to, bring some hype over the DWeb because, of course, it's a really cool product. Super secret DWeb project happening. I'm really excited. I think the community is going to like it. And finally, there's going to be an easy website uploader through a front-end interface and a DWeb search page.
Thank you very much, Phoebe. By the way, are you guys still gathering some feedback from the community?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Of
that's
course.
nice. Okay. Very nice. So yeah, guys. So we have some questions here that again were brought up in the forum. If some of you recognize your own questions, and if you think that you need some more in-depth review of this, you can always ask your questions on Discord or Telegram as you want. The thing here is just we are going to try to answer as the best as we can, and also try not to make a 2 hours AMA. So yeah, on the tech side, maybe we can start with the first question, which is for you, Phoebe, regarding the support for hosting large-scale projects in the future. Maybe some of your websites. Can you maybe say something about this?
Yeah, for sure. So this is a question that that is often asked. And essentially, we can support large-scale projects on the DeWeb, of course. I think the idea here is more to ask, where do you want to store the data? Do you want it to have in a database? Do you want to have a centralized server? Or maybe do you want to have a completely decentralized application and use smart contracts as a backend? I think the way we conceive applications needs to kind of be fully Web3. So yeah, of course, the DWeb can support large projects. It can support anything that's up to 1 terabyte, right? And what about Next.js applications? Well, right now, Next.js works on the DWeb if you build static files, just as long as there's no server-side rendering. But right now, I'm exploring some specific configs that Next.js offers. So maybe it's going to work. I don't know yet if we're going to fully support Next.js.
Thank you very much. Also, I was just wondering, in the slide that you have previous to this one, you explain a little bit more on the roadmap that we have a part of B2B. So the idea is to go search for DeFi protocols that we could link with DeWeb, and on the second milestone, it would be more something regarding users and DeWeb open for all. If any of you guys watching this, if you have any ideas of protocols, of DeFi protocols that you would like to see on the DeWeb, if you have any contacts, anything like that, just again, you can tell us. You can use the forum for this. You can use our social media. It's always nice to have your ideas on this, because we are looking for any type of partnerships that we could do. That's the strength to me about DWeb, is that there are no limits for us, and I think it would be nice if you are using other platforms that you like. It can always be a pleasure for us to talk with these teams and try to integrate them on DWeb with Masa. Yeah, thank you, Phoebe, for your answer. This next one is for you, Damir. The question is DeWeb limited to a static structure, or can it be used as an API server? Are there any plans to expand its dynamic backend capabilities?
Okay, so the question relates to actually doing server-side generation based on templates, for example, to generate a file dynamically through a smart contract, for example. That in practice could be achieved technically. We could say, okay, we're gonna have a smart contract that exposes a function that works a bit like a PHP interpreter, and it's gonna generate a web page on the fly. But this would actually add a lot of complexity to the current DWeb. And in practice, it doesn't bring anything new, because all what you could achieve there could already be achieved using dynamic JavaScript in the front end. So the JavaScript in the front end could just load stuff from the blockchain and update the static web page based on dynamic data. That's already available. the only use case where this could actually be interesting is if people want to disable JS in the front end. I've heard that some people who are a bit paranoid about security like to disable JS in the front end, for example, when using Tor. An Onion browser, I think, has already kind of a default mode where it disables JavaScript. So for now, we have not gone for supporting that. But in the future, we might think about it. We might think about having web pages dynamically generated by smart contracts through read-only calls and emulating post, get, HTTP requests, for example. So if you are interested in this, if you see a direct use case of that, that's not currently covered by the JavaScript version we already have, feel free to post the idea in the forums and we can discuss.
Nice. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Phoebe, this next one is for you. Will there be any improvements such as bulk signing for convenience?
Yeah, so as we previously mentioned, developers and users are going to be able to sign, bulk sign transactions with their secret keys. And definitely coming up, we're looking at implementing batch signing operations.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's more of an easy way to upload everything.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Basically, the look and feel would be the same as currently uploading the smart contracts. So it's familiar to Masa developers.
And just on one touch. Perfect. Thank you. The second one, so as this guy said, the cost of hosting on the chain is related to the Masa value. So what are the plans regarding this to have a consistency with the price fluctuation of the token?
That's an interesting question that doesn't have a simple answer, but I can give you some elements. So first of all, we need to somehow limit storage because otherwise we would require from node runners to have huge hard drives and completely explode their costs. So that's something we don't want for decentralization purposes. So we want node runners to have basically up to 1 terabyte or 10 terabyte hard drives, and that's all. And this implies that storage is a finite resource. So there is a market for it, there's demand. If the demand is very high, the price per byte will naturally go up. That's expected. We cannot do differently. The only thing we can imagine looking at is the fact that we are currently using the Masa token, the MAS, as a way to pay for storage. But Masa is also correlated with other things. It's also paying gas. It's also paying for other stuff. So the price of Masa could go up, and that for other reasons than the actual storage. And that could, for example, lead to some issues. For now, we have not gone that way, but we could imagine creating a separate token just for paying for storage, and that's exchangeable for Masa. And that has a separate market because it's only used for that. So that would be an idea. It would be a bit more complicated to implement. I don't know if it's worth it. If it's something that you think would be very interesting, feel free to propose it in the forums, and we're going to discuss there. Also note that we have a proposal that's upcoming. It's called Service Providers, and it's available on the forums. Have a look at this proposal. We are waiting for comments. These would actually allow for mass storage, bigger data storage, for cheaper costs than on-chain storage, because currently on-chain storage is fully replicated, and maybe you don't always need that. So yeah, feel free to have a look and to propose ideas if you have any.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think we also can drop all the links in the description of this, such as the forum, so everyone can check these ideas to have a little bit more comprehension about it. Thank you very much, Damir. I think it was very clear. The next question that we have here. So yeah, I think maybe something for the near future. Phoebe, is there a list of all the providers and websites that are published on the DeWeb, like some sort of wiki?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Once again, it's something that that's a very popular demand. So of course, since the community wants it, we're going to build it. I think the plan is to build a V1, very bare bones and minimal, and then ask the community to get some feedbacks. What would they like to see? What kind of mechanisms could we implement? And just, work in a very incremental way. And of course, deliver a website provider and website registry application.
Okay, nice. So we do have plans for this.
Exactly.
And there is also another question for you. Is Masa planning to make training material and video for devs on how to migrate these dApps and Web2 websites over the DeWeb?
Yeah. So I believe that can be done inside Mesa Labs, but that's also going to happen on the foundation side. So stay tuned. Very excited for this. It's going to bring a lot of accessibility to the Mesa blockchain.
Perfect. Is this something that you are thinking about integrating on the second milestone with the Open DeWeb for all?
Yeah, of course, it's essential.
Perfect. Thank you. There's also another question, this time on the domains. Can all .masa domain return a formal web answer such as domain parked, etc.?
Yeah. So that's a really interesting question. And actually, if the person who wrote this question wants to, maybe give more precisions on what they expect, I think the team would be interested in. But right now, we're working on a standard that's going to emulate this kind of behaviors. I don't know much about it yet, but please ask the question. I think it's very important.
Thank you very much. I was just checking the different messages of the streaming. Okay, thank you very much, guys. This was more for the tech part. I think we can go to a second different topic, which would be the decentralization. And this one is also for you, Phoebe. What happens if providers are blocked legally? How can we ensure that DeWeb remains resilient?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. That's actually, it kind of represents what the DeWeb is. So what happens if providers are blocked legally? Then any user can access the DeWeb on a local first mode, which means that the websites will be accessible because they're replicated on the blockchain, which means that even if a provider is blocked, the website stays up 24/7. Of course, that's really interesting, right? And that's really what we believe in, this capability of resisting censorship. And how can we ensure that DeWeb remains resilient? Well, just what I said. You build local first applications, use the Masa blockchain for storage, don't rely on centralized servers, and that makes a very, very resistant web.
That's what we are all hoping for. Thank you. Just checking here the questions. Yes. Is it possible to have a Paymaster to support an anonymous posting on DeWeb?
Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of want to say that anything's possible. I think what would be interesting is to ask the community on the forum, what they think of this proposition. And yeah, just feel free to ask and get some feedback on it.
Perfect. Yeah, maybe we could generate a new topic for this. Once the first milestone is live, I think it could be a nice topic. Yeah.
I think it could be fused with the idea on how you gain access to the Masa token in the first place. Today, unfortunately, you kind of have to go through centralized exchanges. It's hard to do otherwise. So we are thinking of possible solutions to this, and I think the forum is also a good place to discuss them.
Totally. Thank you for your input, Damir. There is someone that says, I think the station should be the center of Masa's ecosystem. So do we expect managing websites to be directly from Masa Station?
Yeah, and
which is, by the way, at the moment, it's only available on as a desktop app. but maybe we are working on something else. Just putting that up there.
So yeah, once again, it's an interesting question, and I think it's up to the community to kind of exchange and talk and debate on the pros and cons about if Masa Station should be the center of the DeWeb. Is the DeWeb made to be a standalone product? How do they synergize? Because of course they're going to have synergies. We're just trying to think about what's the best thing for the community.
Thank you very much. I think we can go to the next question. Will we offer subsidies pricing for non-profit organizations and free hosting for universities to promote adoption? It's a very nice question.
Yeah, it's a very nice question. And actually, I don't think it's something that we've formally talked about. I think it's been like something that we've been kind of desiring to go more towards education and institutions like that. So I think Damir and Joao, we could have a nice discussion about this and see, what's possible and how it's possible and how we can create a good movement around this.
And I think I would add that if you have any connections with free speech movements, institutions, etc., please put us in contact. Maybe there are very good opportunities with some of them.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. So is Masa planning to do a TED Talk for DeWeb? And I think you could both answer this one.
Yeah, so I know Masa is planning some things, but I don't know if I can reveal any details.
I think we can tease some stuff. There are upcoming crypto conferences. Masa will be there. Let's see what we're going to do. And also, you need to know that TED Talks are something that you would do a bit later when the product is already launched so that people can onboard directly. So these might come if we do something similar, either with KOLs or with TED or with any other entity. We might want to do it once people can directly click 2 buttons and be on the DeWeb, on the mainnet. So currently we are still on buildnet mode, and the idea is as soon as we are in mainnet, we make sure that the onboarding is as easy as possible and that people can just, with 2 clicks, export the DeWeb. And then we can call to action publicly.
Exactly. That's the idea. And yeah, I think the idea of having this landing page to explain a little bit how it's going, it's also very nice so we can prepare everything for the launch. The next question would be for you, Damir. Is Masa academic paper, does Masa academic paper have been or will be published in academic journals?
Actually, this is a super interesting question because we are, the founders were academics, basically. So we know exactly and thoroughly the publication process in science and in academia in particular. So for now, the Masa paper has been published on arXiv and cited about 27 times by different independent scientific works. It's essentially been validated in practice as well and reviewed by CERTIC as well. So we have a lot of independent validations of its contents. That being said, as former academics, we see a big problem with the current academic publishing model. We don't believe it's a sustainable model. It's broken. It's completely asymmetric. To give you a little story, the way it works is that universities pay publishers to publish. Reviews are done by volunteer scientists. They're not paid. And then the paper is published behind a paywall. So the university needs to pay again to access the paper. Money comes in from all directions, and they only need to maintain a website, essentially. So this is a hugely broken publishing system, and we don't really believe in it. And we would like to, in the long run, propose an on-chain alternative, a bit like Research Hub, if you wish, but more censorship resistant, so that we can free science. And our paper could be one of the pilots for this kind of open review that balances the revenues, that balances the rewards to scientists who review, who publish, and to make basically everything publicly accessible without censorship. So that's our goal in the long run.
Very nice, very nice. Especially that at the moment we are starting to see a very fast rise of what we call the DeSci, the decentralized science. And so I think, yeah, if you with your knowledge about this, I think we can do something great. Yeah, I agree.
And I think that it can even be a grant by the foundation, for example, for an open review, fair publishing system for academia that's on-chain.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So if you are a team that's interested, please contact us.
You can. You have again on the website. You have everything you should need. Otherwise, you can contact us even on our social media. We are open for all of this. Thank you very much, Damir. It's a very clear message. And as for I think it would be the last question. Is DeWeb capable of competing Web2 cloud hosting like AWS from Amazon, GCP, Azure, etc., etc.?
Yeah. So to make a short answer, I mean, is it capable? Of course. We're even competing with all these platforms right now. The question being, like, of course, right now, DeWebs can host front ends. And the main advantage of this is that you pay once for lifetime storage. There's no subscription, there's no hidden fees, there's nothing like that of this very corporate model, etc., whatever centralized model, whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, and the great part is that if you're not happy with the DWeb, you can delete your website and get your tokens back. So it's really a win-win situation.
Exactly. Maybe we should do a price comparison once it's live.
Completely, yeah.
Something to think about. Okay, nice. Thank you very much. I don't know if there are any other questions. I think we did everything. Yeah, I think. I don't know, Phoebe, Damir, if you want to add something else.
I would like to quickly add that I think we strongly believe that this is a very revolutionary project, that we have not seen equivalent things elsewhere. I feel like there's this landscape of things like Tor, like IPFS and others. And I feel like DWeb fits somewhere in this landscape in a very complementary way that's not currently covered. So we strongly believe that it's gonna answer to real problems in real life. And I strongly believe it's going to be one of the supports for Masa adoption. And the power comes even stronger when you combine DWeb with the autonomous smart contracts, because that means that projects can come, deploy a full DApp that's going to function forever by itself without having to resort to external services. The team can literally disappear. It's going to run forever. So it's the first time in history that we achieve true immutability and autonomy at the same time on the blockchain. So I'd like to underline that this is a bit of a historic event.
Exactly. It's a nice vision of things, yeah. It's very powerful. Yeah. Nice. Thank you very much. Yeah. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Something to think about. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I don't know if you want to add anything else. Otherwise, I think we can wrap it up. And of course, we will continue to follow the development of DeWeb with the roadmap. You are, of course, going to see new things coming out in the next weeks. And again, if you have any feedback, any questions, any things that you want us to answer, just feel free to drop them in the forum or on our social media, and yeah, we'll try our best to come back to you. And if we are good, if that's everything, then thank you very much, Phoebe and Amir, for this very clear AMA. Maybe we can do something like this very, very soon also. And yeah, I think we have some questions if we have some time. Okay, what's the difference between Tor and DeWeb? I think we could maybe do an article on this to explain a little bit better. And but yeah, it's a good question.
I think we should make an article that exactly situates DeWeb in the landscape between Tor, IPFS, and other services.
Exactly. I think we have something going on around this. But yeah, thank you, Daz, for the question. And we'll publish when we have something a bit more developed regarding this.
Actually, I can also give a beginning of an answer, just if you're interested.
Yeah, go on.
Tor does not host files. Tor just hides the IP address of your server. So it's still extremely centralized, which means that if your server is hacked, if it's taken down, if it's flooded, if it's attacked in any way, or simply if you decide as the owner of the server to change something on the website, you can cheat the people, you can break the system. It's fully centralized. It just hides the IP address of the server. In our case, data is replicated on all nodes, so privacy is achieved through the fact that actually, if you run your own node, technically you have all the websites on your computer, one way or another. And the idea is nobody knows which one you access. So privacy is achieved in a complementary way. And also, in terms of distribution, in our case, websites are fully replicated over 1,000+ nodes all around the world. So nobody can stop it. There's no one server that's responsible for hosting the files. All of them do. So it's highly, infinitely more resilient, available, and secure.
Thank you. That's very clear. I think if you are happy with this answer, I think we all are. But yeah, I think maybe we can do an article on this so everyone can read the differences. But yeah, as Damir said, I think we have a very nice solution for this problem that is existing with Tor. Well, again, thank you everyone. Thank you, Damir. Thank you, Phoebe. We will keep everyone updated on what we are doing and on the next steps for DeWeb. So yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you, and I will see you guys again very soon.